This is the besotted Pride of West London podcast, and we're coming to you days after quite a disappointing loss against bottom of the table, Sheffield United. But to be quite honest with you, it's one of them things where you had to put it to the back of your mind, to the back of your head. You know, one of those things that happen. It happens almost like every season, you know, like when we lost to Burnley a couple of seasons ago, when we lost to Norwich as well. You know, we lose to teams that we're not expected to lose to, but at the end of the day, you know, the result doesn't come our way. And it's just one of those things. I'm Billy Grant. I'm sitting here in the virtual joint trying to put the Sheffield United victory to the back of me and trying to look forward to the weekend. We've got a game against Villa. I've got Laney in the house. How are you, Laney?
I'm all right, mate. I'm feeling very festive. You're looking very festive, Bill, with your Christmas hat on and your sleigh bells and your kind of like your party. Is that velvet dinner jacket that you got on?
It's a sort of, you know, it's just got the Brentford badge on it as well. It's like
sorry, it's a dressing gown. I thought that was a Christmas dinner jacket. No.
There you go.
Very festive, though, I think.
That's right, actually. Yes, ho, 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 as they say. So, yes, I'm going to be ho, ho, hoing all along as we go into... I'll tell you something. I just realised this is the last podcast, the last match before Christmas, isn't it?
Whee! Oh, was that? Yeah, I think it is, isn't it?
Because the Man City game was cancelled. You know, they cancelled on us, Man City. They have no interest.
They were scared.
Yeah, they were
after last year.
So scared they don't want to play us ever again, man. So they're so scared they've flown off out of the country. They've just gone
like everything else. Everything that's happening in Saudi Arabia at the moment. They've gone over there, haven't they, for a little bit?
For a bit of cash.
Yeah. Bit of world club championships or whatever.
That's right. That's what it's called. So yeah, I hope they enjoy themselves over there. But they've given us a bit of an extra pre-Christmas break, which means that actually, to be quite honest with you, Laney, I haven't even thought about it now because if they've thrown us into a bit of a tease, technically we should actually get a pre-Christmas podcast out, shouldn't we?
We should definitely meet down the pub and do something definitely festive, real rather than virtual. And I have to say thank you very much for Manchester City for not playing us before Christmas, because to be honest with you, we don't really want to be playing them at the moment, do we? We need a few players back. We'll talk about that in a minute, but this is a very good time not to be playing Manchester City, I'd say.
It is a very good time indeed. So anyway, but listen, we've got loads to talk about on this podcast. We've got, obviously, we're going to talk about the fans. Listen to what the fans had to say at Sheffield United, the Bees fans, and also the Blaze fans. If you check that out on prideofwest.london, it was an extra long 40-minute post-match podcast for a game that we lost, actually. But Sheffield United is one of the away days. Put your thumbs up for Sheffield United. Win or lose, proper old-school away day. Had a great day out. Despite the victory, the victory for them, the loss for us, like, you know, they brainwashed me saying, we won. I thought red and white stripes, it's Brentford that won. Oh no, wrong team. But anyway, yeah, so, you know, despite that, really good away day. We'll talk about that. So we talked to the fans after the game. Definitely check that out on this podcast, but also check out prideofwest.london, because to be fair, the Sheffield United fans were very respectful to the Bees, to Brentford as well. And they're almost like really happy that they beat us, because they thought, oh my god, you know, we've beaten Brentford, this is just really good, like, you know. Also, we've got JB who's going to give us some more facts and funk. We've got B's breakdown giving us some statistical and tactical lowdowns on the Sheffield United game, and also looking forward to Villa. And we've also got Nilesh from Villains Together who's going to give us the lowdown on Villa. But anyway, coming back to just Brentford and the terraces, and I don't know if people have noticed when we've got our own little songs, Brentford. You know, back in the day, and we talk about back in the day a lot, we were one of the sort of most creative teams when it came to actually inventing new songs. We used to sit in the pub and we used to sit down and we used to invent songs. There was actually a BBC documentary, which it's a shame I haven't got a copy of that, actually. You know, it was in the old school days where you had a computer, but the computer wasn't like it was now. So when you change your computer, things didn't seem to transfer. But it was a 2-part documentary made by a set of characters called the Marx Brothers. And we're not talking about sort of Groucho and his other brother there, but there's Marx Brothers. And they're this documentary where they actually kind of, I think they documented us sort of kind of a part of it. You know, they followed us back into the season, making up the Martin Rowland song, which started off in the Globe back in the day. I mean, this was, I think we're talking about the sort of kind of late 90s. I think it was it late 90s? Yeah. The Martin Rowland song, which started there. But like I said to you, just coming back to that, Brentford, very good at making up songs. And those songs have gone into the annals of history. I'll tell you something, talk about songs, Laney. don't know where I was recently. I was somewhere, and they played a song. It might have even actually been at Sheffield United. And at Sheffield United, all of a sudden they started to play a "Hold Me Close, Don't Let Me Go."
Oh, David Essex.
Yeah, David Essex. Okay, and it just reminded me. I just thought, oh my god, I can't believe that. 30 years ago, do you remember the song that we had to that?
Yeah,
Hold Worth's good, don't let him go.
La, la,
Oh
la,
no, because
la,
we
la, la, la.
all love him and we want you to know. Oh, you know, with the new road roaring, and you know that it's keep on scoring. So hold with good, don't let him go. La 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 la. And I just la 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 la, and I just thought,
That was Lulu, was it?
yeah, that's right. And I just thought, oh, I've not heard that song for like 30 plus years. But I thought, again, it was that creativity that you did where you came out with a song. No one else sang that song at all. We came up with it.
Holdsworth was good.
Holdsworth was good. We didn't want to let him go with the new road roaring as well. You sort of kind of localize it to your team, and like I said to you, look, when we do our, if you know your history, I think, we might come up with a few more of these little things that used to come up. But I mean, what a great little song that was, like I say to you. Now, interestingly,
I bet people are welling up listening to that. That was an emotional, what voices of angels, the pair of us, Bill.
They're welling up, sort of thinking, my ears, my ears are bleeding.
Please shut up.
That's right. But just coming back to songs as well. Also recently, for us to sort of stamp our sort of mark on this Premier League division, we always sort of cart back to songs which sort of kind of make people know that we were always lower league, so know that they're playing a team that has been recently lower league as well. So when we play a team and their fans don't sing, we do hear from fans singing, especially in the West End, singing "You're So Loud, You Sound Like Aldershot," you know what I'm saying? Which is one of the songs that we used to sing a long time ago. Aldershot was kind of a bit of a rival of ours. It was for they're down south. They're an army town. Their fans were known to be a little bit rowdy. It has to be said, even though we're talking about in the context, like I'm saying, if they're getting 2,000 or 3,000 fans, but because they're from an army town, they used to have sort of quite rowdy fans. But characters, as we say. But as we used to sing as well, "You're so loud, you sound like Aldershot," because as far as we were concerned, we were always louder singers than they were. And we used to compare anybody that we're going to, is that if you could not sing, then basically you sound like Aldershot. So we sing that now to when West Ham come down, or when Fulham come down, of course, and all these other teams come down. But what did maybe chuckle?
We didn't always say the word Aldershot, though, did we, Bill?
We didn't always say Aldershot, and the way that they were referred to were, what are they referred to as?
Aldershit.
Okay, and not only us, but also other teams used to refer to them as well.
Yes.
And we didn't know that, because I didn't know that it was a universal thought that everyone used to refer to them as that until a couple of days ago, when I was watching BBC News, and I was sitting down there 6:30 in the morning watching BBC News. Mike Bushell comes up, talks about the FA Cup, picks it up, and he goes to me, "Oh no, we got some FA Cup news," and there's a bit of a shock because Aldershot, oops, and then he just corrected him in Aldershot, and I went, hold on a second, Mike Bushell didn't just say Aldershot, did he? And I wound it back, and I thought, oh my God, he's done. So I sent the message out to her, and I said, I can't believe Mike Bushell's just said Aldershot, you know what I'm saying? And my wife was going to me, she goes, why is that so funny? And I said, you won't get it. It's a football thing. It's a Brentford thing. Like, we all call them that. Now, I thought it was completely hilarious. I sent it around, everyone's laughing. But the question I'm going to say to you, Laney, is that, do you think that this was a real error on his behalf? Or do you think, as a Wickham fan, that he's thinking exactly the same way as what we think when they play Aldershot?
Possibly, but the guy is a fucking idiot, as far as I'm concerned, in general. And anything that comes out of his mouth, I just kind of like, I normally turn him over, if I'm honest with you. He's just goddamn awful. But yeah, it did make me laugh. And you saw it, Stu Harris saw it as well. Both put it out on different WhatsApp thingies, and we tweeted it. So it's struck a nerve. But deliberate. Yeah, well, they are shit, aren't they? So yeah, I think it's a clear and obvious kind of, not an error, but yeah, he did it on purpose, I reckon, Bill.
Clear and obvious error, as we say. And tell you something, talk about clear and obvious errors. We're going to take a little break. We're going to come back, and then we're going to talk about a goal that was scored by Sheffield United, which was possibly a clear and obvious error by our keeper. We'll come back after the break. Sheffield United away. Great away day. Not the best match. Goal scored by their player. Some call it a worldie. Some call it a bit of luck. Doesn't really matter. 3 points on the bag for United. For me, I've been looking forward to that United game for a while, have to be said. Went down, spent time with my Blades mates, the ones that I go to England with, Reg and Mark, and I also saw Bram as well. Unfortunately, the Scruffs couldn't come because he was up in the hospitality, as they do. You can see how they've gone up in the world, these Blades, what I'm saying. But saying that, I had a brilliant day out, brilliant day before and brilliant day afterwards. Even met some characters as well. On the following day, actually kind of had to go and find a charger for my car. That was my first car charging experience, sort of nightmare scenario where I thought, I've got to get the car charger, it'll be really easy. And then I found out that Sheffield is not quite equipped with electrical points for cars, and literally everyone's queuing up for the one charger. So of course I'm charging up my car, talk to the guy beside me. Next minute I found out, he's a Brentford fan. So Brentford everywhere, as you do. So we started talking about football. So good to chat to you as well. But like I said to you, Sheffield United, great away day, but not the greatest match. Tell you what, I'm not even going to talk about this much more. I'm going to go straight over to the fans and see what they had to say straight after the game.
It's pretty awful, to be fair. I think Sheffield United came at us. They had the more intent. We just lacked any sort of direction or shape. I don't know, wasn't great.
I think they're always going to struggle with no forward line. Got best three strikers in the team out injured, or one obviously out banned, two out injured. It's always going to be difficult. Thought the defence did well, conceded 1 free goal, but we've got nothing going forwards.
One thing I want to say, Wissa straight down the tunnel at the end. Everyone else comes over, Wissa turns around, straight down the tunnel.
A few players I want to see a bit more from. I'm not too concerned.
Oh, no, we're struggling now, I think, with the injuries and everything. I think, we worked hard and everything, but, I think now you can see there's only like 4 or 5 of our first choice side out there, really, and you can see the strength in depth. We're struggling a little bit now. I thought Damsgaard played well when he came on. I thought he was really good. KLP struggled, but, disappointing, but what can you say? We move on.
The last 15-20 minutes looked very promising, especially, we were saying, when Damsgaard came on. The problem is, as a fan, you're then very frustrated because you're watching them play that, thinking, why couldn't you do that from the beginning? A lot of us kind of blaming the injuries and things at the moment, which is valid, that's valid, and there's a very inexperienced team out there, but they've evidently got the quality, they've got the ability, so why aren't they starting that? I don't know. Whether, I know it's inconvenient, that's affecting both teams, but there comes a point where we need to be sharper. We need to be punting. They played rubbish today, Sheffield. We need to be punishing that. One time they just kicked it out. They didn't know what to do with it, and then we ended up playing it back. If you're playing any other side than a Prem, they're punishing the things like that, and that's what we need to learn to do, especially if we want to be fighting for the top half of the table.
Well, I mean, we've tried our best. We've got so many players out. We've got our first 11 really out, apart from the goalie. I think, Jensen is a massive miss. We missed that creativity in midfield. When Damsgaard came on against Brighton, he looked really sharp. When he came on today, he didn't have the same influence. Baptiste, a little bit disappointing for me today. Didn't really get on the ball, didn't really create much. I'd be quite happy against Villa to start with Damsgaard and Yarmolet. We didn't lack effort, but today we just missed maybe that focal point up front, and that's been the story of the season. Against Arsenal, had Tony been playing, I think we'd have got a point there. We just missed that, someone that can hold the ball up when it's played long and bring players into the game. And Wissa and Maupay, as much as they give us in terms of energy and effort, they don't have that same physical presence of winning the ball and holding up and bringing someone in. We've got so many players missing. You can't fault the effort.
Oh, we're delighted. I mean, we really needed that today. We came back midweek with a bit of spirit, and we've had a terrible, terrible season. And to come back today and get 1-0, which nobody predicted being the pub before this game, do you know what? It is a relief. And it could have been 3, but that shows our lack of confidence. But, I'm sorry, Brentford, but thank God we got 3 points today.
So there you go, Beast fans, Sheffield United fans. And like I said to you, they're obviously very happy, very pleased because they got the result against us, a bit out of the blue. But, I mean, as they said, and I'm going to be straight up with you as well, they were right. They said, look, at the end of the day, we wanted it more. And we're not faulting Brentford, saying that Brentford didn't want it. But, you know, part of the feeling was, and you heard a lot of the fans were a little bit sort of resigned, saying, look, you know, we've tried our hardest. We've kind of come to the end of our tether here. We've come to the end of our players. You know, we've put our players out there, but at the end of the day, we're literally running out of players. And, you know, what can you do? You know, there may be a little bit of disappointment with a couple of players out there who probably didn't sort of perform to the levels that they could have done, considering they've now been given an opportunity. You know, but again, sometimes things just don't work out. And, you know, Sheffield United, they desperately needed a point. And you can see after maybe 20 minutes or so, when things were kind of still even Stevens, they could sniff blood and they just went for it. And, you know, they really did. And I think it's really reflective. I mean, if you go to, as we do, whoscored.com, you know, and the 5 top players, their ratings are all Sheffield United players, you know what I'm saying? You know, we've got, you know, was it Ahmedic as well with 7.9, McAtee 7.7, Cameron Archer 7.6, Wes Foderingham was 7.4, and Jayden Bogle was 7.1, okay, which was, like I said to you, their top 5 players in that game as well. You know, talking about the match itself, you know, talking about Sheffield United, their strengths, their team had no significant strengths, okay? Their weaknesses, they're aggressive and they lost possession often. They played with width, favoured long shots, attacked down the left side, and they favoured long balls. And for us, you know, we stole the ball from them, you know, but we were poor at finishing and committed a high number of individual errors. So, you know, it kind of shows how that game played out. You know, we probably had the chances to do and to put them to bed, but we didn't put them to bed. And at the end of the day, a wonder goal, as Sheffield United fans will tell you, because they said to you that he's done a few of those before, scored the goal which actually basically separated the two sides. It was a bit annoying as well, because Janelt in the run up to that, he got done. I mean, he got done, right, properly done, and then the ball wasn't probably cleared properly. Then it went out to their player, and then you can argue, should he be closed down or shouldn't he do? And he sort of saw the gap, and then he went for this shot, or was it a cross? And Flecken just stood there. Now, a lot of people says don't blame Flecken, because at the end of the day, no one's going to stop that as a goal. But there's an argument is that, you know, was he in the right positioning? You know, should he have come somebody block? I don't know, but that was a little bit frustrating, and maybe people are using that as an excuse for another stick to beat Flecken with. I mean, I'm just wondering for you, Laney, do you think that no chance, Flecken, there's no chance of saving that? What do you think?
Well, let me go one step backwards. That was the least surprising upset I can remember. I think that was always going to be a defeat with Brentford. You know, I was not shocked or not surprised by that whatsoever, because Sheffield United looked tighter and more organised against Liverpool in midweek. They lost that game, but it was a narrower defeat than what they've been suffering of late. And, you know, this is an excuse. It's just fact that we are in the middle of an injury crisis, and we're fielding an 11 that really, you know, it's run out of steam, and it's still capable. I mean, we still created enough chances to get a draw out of that, I think. As they missed a few chances themselves. I think if Morpay finds a better finish, he scores, and I think Wieser shoots straight at the goalkeeper, and if he kind of hits that worse, he probably does score. Hits it with more power, and the goal came ridiculously late in the first half, when, you know, I don't think anyone was thinking half time was up, but it was a wonder goal. I don't think. I spoke last week about Flecken and how he doesn't look capable of keeping many clean sheets. This was possibly an example of that. However, I'm not sure he could do much about it. He didn't really move though, and something else I raised last week. He looked static an awful lot. He instead of diving for the cameras, as they say, or putting in, he's quite economical with his. He doesn't like to get his shirt any dirtier than it needs to. Let's put it that way. He won't go for motions and kind of arch his back and try and reach it. And sometimes he might reach some of those shots. That one I'm not sure he would have done. So I'll give James McAtee the props for the shot. But we have seen Flecken of late kind of just be his first reaction is to have no reaction, if that makes sense. He'll watch the shot and he will think that's wide of me, I'm not going to dive for it. They might go in anyway, but he just doesn't go through the motions and dive and make an attempt sometimes. So yeah, he's static. And I don't know, credit where credit's due. Sheffield United, they smelt an opportunity, and if that Brentford team turns up at any away Premiership ground and puts in that kind of performance, then they're probably going to lose. We need some returning faces. We need some talent to come back, because we're scraping the barrels is the wrong word. It gives the impression that the players that turn out aren't good enough. They are good enough individually, but collectively that's not a very strong Premiership football team. But we're only losing by single goals without jinxing it ahead of inform Aston Villa coming to town. But I wasn't surprised, let's put it that way. Disappointed, not surprised.
Yeah, I mean, and just coming back to, we keep mentioning the injuries. And again, we're not mentioning it because we're not trying to make excuses. It's a fact. The injuries that we've got. Brian Mbumo, he was out previous match, and we knew he's going to be out for this game. At the time, we didn't know what the extent of his injury was. We know that he had a rolled ankle, is what we've been told, and we thought, maybe he might be out for 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. It's now been known that Brian Mbumo seems much more serious than we thought, and he's going to be out for, it looks like, at least 3 months, which means that he's probably not going to be back till March. He misses the African Cup of Nations, and that's got quite a lot of implications for Brentford, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, because Brian, we've documented it, and others have documented how much Brian Mbumo has stood up to the plate after missing his striking partner Ivan Toney, and we lent on Ivan. We lent on Brian at the very beginning, and he scored a couple of penalties, and he was scoring goals and assists, and he's a miss. He really is. I know we've got Ivan coming back, but Brian Mbumo is really maturing into the real deal. So for him personally, as a player, as a man, for him to be missing AFCON, it's going to be a massive blow for him. For us, we're going to miss him for a chunk of that time anyway, but it's going to be longer than just that. And obviously we need to sort of feed him back into the team. So, we talked last week about the need to go into the transfer window regardless in January, whether it's for loan players or whether it's for permanent players to sort of push us on to that next trajectory. It's becoming more and more clear that we have to get Premiership ready players into that team, especially out wide. Not quite sure how long Sharda's out for. ALP's been back. He started. We can. He didn't really make. He's not putting in the performances that we need him to. So Aliekbi, we need to give him minutes. We have got options, but they're not Brian Mbumo sized options, so it's a massive misbuild.
Yeah, so really, listen, it's one of those things we've got to deal with. I think for us, and I think for the club, again, it's a little bit of a balance of, are we in a catastrophic scenario that, if we're not careful, we could get relegated? And a lot of people that, we're talking to, they're also thinking, oh my God, this is a disaster. We can actually find ourselves in the relegation zone. Again, personally, as you know, I'm always a glass half full person. And even, a couple of seasons ago when, we didn't win those games for 2 months, I just felt that we were in the position, the team that we're in, that we are going to be okay. Yes, this time is slightly different because, a lot of our key players are out. And that is a bit of an issue, but we have to have players to step up to the plate, and we have got good players that potentially could step up to the plate. And I'm just wondering whether or not these players is going to be given their time to shine if they've got more time. Damsgaard's, your Keane Lewis Potters. I'm not sure when Sharda's back, but I'm sure Sharda's going to be back before, and Mbumo is going to be back, if you understand what I'm saying, because he's not back till March. But so we've got these players coming through, and we have got between now and sort of the end of May to kind of sort our stuff out. So for me, I'm glass half full, sort of saying, even with what we've got at the moment now, I still believe that we haven't got an issue about finishing, 18th or whatever it may be, which is in the relegation zone. And I think that we need to not panic, and we need to basically buy the players that are right. And if something comes up this January, that's fine. But if somebody doesn't come up this January, I think we just have to kind of ride the surfing wave as it is, Laney.
Yeah, I mean, we're 10 points away from the drop zone. Sheffield United still bottom with 8 points. Burnley still second bottom with 8 points, and you've got Luton on 9. Then you've got a jump to Everton with 10 points deducted. They seem to have had the shot in the arm, having the points deduction. Those bottom three seem to be sort of cut adrift in relative terms, because they've only got, in 16 games, they've only got 8 or 9 points. That's half a point per match. That's nowhere near what you need for safety. And we are halfway through the season. It looks like we're safe. You can't count your chickens. And I'm sure there's people going, oh yeah, but what if we lose another 4 on the trot, and what if they all win 4 on the trot? Well, yeah, that's possible, but it's more unlikely than good luck to you. Stick a tenner on it. If you believe that's going to happen, stick a tenner on it, because you're going to end up with a lot of money, because it's probably not going to happen. In fact, I'll go as far as to say it ain't going to happen. So, and there's enough about us still to eke out points here and there, and we have got players coming back. We have got the whole of January. And we can push that panic button and bring some loanees in. I know it's not the Brentford way, but this isn't the Brentford kind of season. This isn't a normal season. I think this is an extraordinary season, and I think the powers that be will do what it takes. They're not going to risk it. These people are betting professionals. They would have known what the risks are. Let's be honest with you. Apart from Saturday, Sheffield United took 3 points off of us, but that wasn't Brentford. That's not a Brentford team that we're used to. That was a bare bones. So I say Sheffield United, Burnley and Luton, but Luton have been playing out their skins of late. They didn't against us, and they probably regretting that performance they put in against us, because we were as weakish in that game, and we came out 3-1 winners, because they kind of tried to park the bus first half. Then we went a couple up, and then they came out the traps. And I think if they come at us, they could have scared us on the day. They didn't. Then they've gone close to pulling off something special against Arsenal. And then they did all right against Man City. And I think, even when they play well, they lose. And that's not a good sign. So I'd say those bottom three probably stays the bottom three. And regardless of whether we hemorrhage defeats, we're going to be all right. I'm not comfortable with taking that for granted, and I'm certainly not counting the chickens as the old proverb goes. But I'm not panicking, and that just the wins that we've got recently, those 3 wins on the trot, including the Chelsea one and the Luton one, they're going to probably be worth their weight in gold. So yeah, it's not great, but who'd have thought that all of this would come at once? We were smarting from Ivan Toney being missing, but let alone Rico and now Brian and Jensen and Hickey, and you can run Sharda, and you run through that team, all the players that you were kind of Josh Silva, players that you would thought would step up, and we've only got we've got KLP coming back after injury as well, and it's been really, really tough. There are kind of explaining circumstances for all this, but we're going to be more than all right.
Yeah. Okay. So listen, Laney's obviously looking a bit upbeat there, and we've also got JB, who is always upbeat despite the results. Let's go over to JB to hear what he's got with his facts and his funk.
Are you ready for this? I told you it was coming. Woo! JB, and he's ready to stock it to you one time. Get it!
Hello, Jonathan Birchall back again. So far, since we joined the Premier League, we've played 92 games. Of the players still on our books, they have scored a total of 116 goals. For the game with Sheffield United, our missing players had contributed 70 or 60% of them. The main absentees being of course Tony with 32, Mbomo with 20 and Jensen with 8. We hadn't won at Bramall Lane, Sheffield since a 2-1 win over 40 years ago, back in the era of Stan Bowles and Chris Kamara, when Francis Joseph and Bob Booker both scored. This period of injuries has though given the opportunity to players in the squad who might not have always had a chance. In Saturday's 20-man squad, only 9 have started more than 20 Premier League games in their career, so a whole 11 of our squad are still very inexperienced in this league. Sunday's visitors, Aston Villa, are currently the best side in the Premier League at home with 8 straight wins, but they sit in 9th place based on a table purely on away results. We sit 9th for home form and 13th for away. With our away game with Manchester City due on the 23rd of December having been postponed some weeks ago, we now enter a period of just 5 Premier League games over 54 days, although there will be 1, maybe 2 FA Cup ties in that time. So at last we appear to be entering a period where many of our missing players are hopefully reaching the end of their time out injured.
There you go, JB. More facts, more funk. Funk in the bag. Funk in the house. We're going to be funking in the house later on, but we won't talk about that. We'll move on. To do something.
We're gonna funk right off.
That's right. We will be later, possibly. The Gowler, Bees breakdown. We talked about this Sheffield United game. We were a little bit disappointed with the result, but at the end of the day, you know, it's one of those things where old school stadium, old school team, old school fans, old school away day, and old school rolling the sleeves up, and basically just getting stuck in and trying to get a result. And that's exactly what happened at Sheffield United. But we've got stats man, the facts man, the tactical man to actually analyse what went on in that Sheffield United game to see if anything else that we didn't notice, you know what I'm saying, went down. The Gowler with Bees breakdown is giving us the statistical and the tactical analysis of the United game, and also looking forward to the Villa game.
Hey, this is Jacob Galler with Bees Breakdown, so I'll try to make this Sheffield review quick, because that was definitely one to forget for Brentford fans. The Bees only created 0.66 XG against one of the worst Premier League sides that's averaging over 2 expected goals against per match, so a bit disappointing not to score. And even though Brentford held 60% possession, they only completed 7 deep passes, that's just within 20 yards of the opponent's goal. The Bees also struggled to win aerial duels. They only won 38%. They also failed to win second balls, with Sheffield ending up with 56 ball recoveries. So McAtee's 0.03 XG chances ended up being the difference. Alright, so for that Aston Villa preview, they're currently 3rd in the Premier League, but they're overperforming just a little. They're actually 6th in expected goal difference, with Brentford surprisingly just above them in 5th. They've created around the same XG as Brentford at 28.8, but they've scored 35 goals, while the Bees are massively underperforming their XG. They're actually last in the league in the statistics, scoring 7.5 fewer goals than expected. On the other end, Villa are giving up high percentage scoring opportunities, but Martinez has just been exceptional. He's only allowed 20 goals in the season, and he's stopping a high percentage of crosses into the box. One thing I noticed is that Villa play a very high line, and they also have caught their opponents offside 75 times so far this season. And for context, Tottenham are second at 51 times. So that's something to watch out for. And unfortunately, the players that would normally take advantage of this are out injured for Brentford. And so the other thing of note is that Aston Villa have the best record at home, having won 8 out of 8 matches at home this season, but their away record is not nearly as impressive, only getting 11 points on 8 matches and a -5 goal difference. So hopefully the Bees can pull one out at the G-Tech and get back on track here.
There you go, Bees breakdown with the analysis. And listen, all we can say is we just have to move on. We have to move on. We're almost, let's tell you something, we're almost in 2024. And for me, again, glass half full, saying things, that's when the star in the sky, the lights, the positivity as we move forward from them. Because I just, in a way, I can't wait for this year to finish. You know what I'm saying? For our players to have a little bit of a rest, they have a good rest over Christmas. Unfortunately, we've got, the Wolves game, and we've got a few other games that we have to play, but just get them out of the way, and let's just get ourselves into the new year. We've got a break just after the FA Cup as well, and we've got another break then, and I think that's going to be getting us back into good stead from then. But now we literally just have to get these games out of the way, and I think a lot of the fans at that Sheffield United game just went, listen, we lost the game, no big deal, we'll have a good day out, but let's just get these out of the way and let's just move on. But talking about moving on, Aston Villa, we're playing them on Saturday, and they've moved on quite a bit from when we played them in the Championship, and when they almost got relegated by Hawkeye in their first season back in the Premier League. In it, Laney?
Yeah, they've really have kicked up. Well, Smith, Kaffer, Sharp, and they've really done well. They're playing Ollie Watkins in his right position. They've got width, they've got pace, they've got a new style of football that utilises all of their strengths. We saw what they were capable of up at Villa Park last year when they sort of wiped the floor with us. They seem to be doing that on a regular basis. They've just come out from beating Man City and Arsenal. We are the weakest in that little trilogy, so there's a banana skin there for them. We know how to play against them. Our record against Villa's pretty good, but it's pretty good when we've got our strongest team. I'm not, we've got a lot to fear on Sunday from Aston Villa, and we're gonna have to be at our best. And I'm looking forward to it, mate. It's a game that I think we need to get out of the way, as you just said. We need to get it out of the way, get on with Christmas. Get the Crystal Palace game done and dusted, and then we've got FA Cup against Wolves early Jan. Then we've got a bit of a break until the Forest match that's later on when Ivan Toney returns, and we'll see what happens, see where we're at that stage. So yeah, two games to go before the new year. Villa is the toughest of those two, and we have to, as I just said, we have to be at our very, very best. But they're in form. But what happens? This division shows you all the time. Just when a team's on a good run, normally, but they're not at that Man City standard yet. But Man City, they're wobbling. Arsenal, they're wobbling, and Aston Villa have reeled them all in. But they've been on a good run, and good runs come to an end. I'm just hoping it's on Sunday, mate.
Yeah, last season, they came to Brentford on a good run. If you speak to Villa fans, they'll say, look, we don't like coming to Brentford because we struggle. In fact, we were their bogey team. Even in the Championship, they used to talk about it. They said, oh, God, first of all, it's like Brentford, who are they? Which is quite funny. We've got no idea who you are. Then boom, boom, boom. Then all of a sudden it's like, oh, no, it's Brentford. And then they used to hate playing us, and we used to beat them literally every time. If not, it was a draw. I think they beat us one time when we were in the Championship. I can't remember it exactly. I'm not sure exactly when, but I'm sure that they beat us just one time. But other than that, we beat them again. And then when they came down to us in the Premier League, the first season again at our place, I think we gave them a little bit of a beating there as well. They gave us a tonking at their place last season, which we put our hands up and said, fair play, Villa, you are wicked. And then, when they came down to us last season, Ivan Toney put us up in the second half, and literally they looked like they were going for another loss at New Griffin Park. And then Lewis popped up with a couple of minutes to go and equalised, and they thought, phew, here we go. We haven't lost to Brentford once again. So, I don't believe in historic victories in the fact that, if you've beaten a team 10 times beforehand, you're going to beat them again, because it just doesn't necessarily work like that. However, there's also this other thing where there's this psychological thing where if teams come down to your ground thinking we always never do well here, psychologically they're going into this game not necessarily well prepared. However, saying that, they've had a pretty decent European run, haven't they, Laney? So they're going to be coming into this game bouncing around, aren't they?
They won in Bosnia last night as well. But I think what we're good at, we're good at identifying our opponent's weaknesses and having the tools to kind of to scratch at those kind of weaknesses and make the most of it. I just don't think we've got the tools for it this at the moment, you know, unless we've got a couple coming back, unless we're going to be surprised by our injury list improving a little bit. We're missing a bit of creativity. We're obviously clearly missing some punch up top, and we've obviously touched upon the keeping a clean sheet issue. So, you know, in all departments where we're not our best, you know, right back and left back, left wing and right wing, midfield without Jensen is not the same. Still, the goalkeeper without David Raya being there is still not the same. I'm not going to put. This isn't a fleck and pile on. It's just stating a fact, really. You know, it's not what it was. We're not the Brentford we were last season. So, you know, we are shackled in some. We're not in some respects, in a lot of respects, to the reality of missing so many of our key players. You know, until that improves, I'm scaling back my expectations. You know, if we can finish top half, I think we've witnessed a miracle. And you know, Sunday it's going to be a great game. You know, I think these are going to be two teams that that enjoy playing against each other. I just think form this time will probably go Villa's way.
Right, okay, so listen, we're going to go over to Nilesh from Villains Together, and they're going to give us, or he's going to give us, they're all together, but he's not together with them, you know, he's just by himself, you know, but when they're together, they are villains together. He's going to give us the lowdown on Aston Villa. So here we go, Sunday. It's not Saturday. You know, I always get confused between Saturdays and Sundays when they move the games. But I'm not confused this time because I know that we've got Aston Villa coming down to New Griffin Park. Aston Villa on the back of the European jaunts all over the place. I think that half their fans are coming back from Bosnia, I believe. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're going to be all sorts of tiredness and everything like that, you know, jet lag and everything, you know. But there's one fan that is not jet lag. I've got Nilesh from Villains Together. He's here. And he's going to give us the lowdown on Villa. Nilesh, how are you?
Too bad. How are you?
I'm all right, man. Not bad. I'm relaxed, you know what I'm saying? Not like you, like you've had some sort of kind of frantic European kind of adventures going on, haven't you?
We have indeed, yeah. We have indeed. And it's been a journey at the moment. It's been a good journey.
Yeah, so I hear that. So tell you something, before we go into that, all right, we've got to talk about how you got to this European journey. Just give us a quick summary about your last season.
Well, last season was obviously getting up the table as quick as we could in terms of the time that we had, and then we went on an unbeaten run for a while, and our performances were quite good, and we all worked really, really hard in terms of the players on the pitch were fantastic. Unai Emery, you know, he brought one player in last season, which was Alex Moreno, and you know it showed that he was a bit of quality that we needed. And we had players that were putting a shift in and really looking to started to believe that we could get into Europe.
You know, and I mean, you said that you have belief that you're going to get into Europe as well. I mean, you know, it's one of them things where, you know, you had one season when you first started off in the Premier League from the Championship, and you almost got relegated. I mean, it was Hawkeye that actually didn't relegate you. It was nothing else. You know what I'm saying? So you've hung on by tenterhooks, but all of a sudden, last game of the season, you find yourself in actually kind of getting a European place. How was that sort of kind of jump to you?
It's been amazing, honestly, and it shows what a difference a manager can make. You know, when you're looking at where we were, and then all of a sudden we're competing to trying to get into Europe, and moving up the table. It's unbelievable. And thing was, the way we actually played on the pitch was completely different as well. And you can see that in the players, and they truly wanted to play football. They truly wanted to win games, and you could see it, and they believed in the system that Unai Emery was putting on. So it was a joy to watch, to be honest, and it was really good from a fan's point of view. We could see that we are going to do this, and we are going to get there, and we were looking forward to the following season there. You know, you're kind of looking forward, and you're optimistic that, you know what, we can actually do something now.
Yeah. And again, at the beginning of the season, and we'll talk about this later, I mean, you smashed Brentford. I mean, I'll put the score to the back of my mind. It was like either 4 or 5-0. I mean, you were like 3-0 up before we could even blink two eyes, you know what I'm saying? And that was very early on in the season. I think it was October. At that stage, did you actually think we're going to really do something this season, or did you think, oh God, this is a flash in the pan?
You know what? At that point, for me, I didn't think we were going to be like anywhere near the top four. I thought we'd be in the top six, or thereabouts. But our performances have been consistent, especially at home, and I think that's made a difference. And consistency is a key in football for me. Looking at all the top teams, that they have to produce the results constantly, and perform constantly at a high level, and that's what we were doing, and we weren't dropping our standards, and that's how it's gone all through this season.
Yeah, I mean, and this season, like I said to you, I mean, you've had a good start to the season. You're obviously very happy, and you said you don't expect yourself to be as high as you are at the moment now. I mean, just talk to me about a few of the key matches this season. Not necessarily Europe, but also league matches, which actually gave you a few pointers.
I think the key matches, we can't go away from the Man City match and even the Arsenal match. I think any Villa fan would say.
And what happened there?
Played better. Well, against Man City, I think everyone could say, you can see that we actually played really, really well against a team that are a very good team in the league, one of the best teams in Europe. You could say they are the best team in Europe. And we literally boxed them in at times. They couldn't break us down. Man City didn't know how to cope with us. We had over 20 shots at the goal. Unbelievable. We went on to play another difficult game, and sometimes you get these games where you play well against one top team, and then when you play against another top team like Arsenal, you don't really play as well. But it showed that we had that belief again to play well. We scored a goal. Don't get me wrong, I don't think we played as well as we did against Man City, but we got the job done and we played excellent. And again, Arsenal were struggling to break us down, struggling to find a way through. And that's been the way forward for us for all the way now.
Yeah, and just for people who might not know the scores, Villa beat Man City 1-0, and they also beat Arsenal 1-0 as well. Just to back up the things that you're saying there as well. I mean, like I said to you, a good start to the season there as well. And you talked about Unai Emery as well. I'm just going to say to you, I mean, not good enough for Arsenal, but good enough for Villa. Is that how you can sum him up?
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? I have to question, why was he not good enough for Arsenal? He got Arsenal. Okay, he got them fifth. He got them to a cup final in Europe. And so a lot of people do question why he wasn't good enough for Arsenal. Was he not given enough time at Arsenal? At Villa here, he believes in the project. At Villa, he really believes in the project. He believes in the owners, and which is why I think he's enjoying himself here at the Villa, and he's able to express himself in the tactics that he's showing on the pitch.
Yeah, and this season, as you said to you, I mean, obviously very excited. I mean, are you comfortable with the Villa squad this season? I mean, tell me, who's good, who's playing well, who are you excited about, and tell me also, who do you think could do better?
Do you know what? I mean, everybody's been playing well. Everyone's done their part, like I've said. For me, if I was to put two players that have done really, really well this season and be consistent for me, it's probably been Douglas Luiz and one of your old boys, Ollie Watkins. I mean, of late he's not scored as many, but he's been consistent from the start of the season. He's been getting goals for us, which has been massive for us. In the last 3 or 4 games, you look at Martinez, who has been really consistent and solid in goals, so which has led us not to concede in the 2 league games that we've had against 2 top teams. People that, if you look at our squad and you look at people that need to probably step up a little bit more now, it is the likes of the ones that are coming up, but they're coming back from injury. So Don Dunkers, he came on against Arsenal and done very well, but if he wants to remain in the side and we want to push into the side, he just needs to step up a little bit more. And Matty Cash hasn't been in the starting 11 in the league for the last 2 games, and he is another person that probably needs to step up as well. But I also feel that now we look at our team and we have games midweek, we have games on the weekend. I think there needs to be possibilities where we bring more players in to cope with the demands of the fixtures.
Yeah, and that was our fear as well. Because we were like, on the verge, we were probably about one a little bit wins away from getting to Europe last season. But my fear was I didn't want us to go because I didn't think our squad was strong enough. And it's proven this season with the injuries that we got. We literally just ran out of players, to be quite honest with you. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. You talked about Ollie Watkins and XB players. I mean, you've got 2 XBs in your side. You've got Ollie Watkins and you've also got Ezri Konsa. I mean, Ezri Konsa was blinking, you miss him. He was there for a season. We took the 12 million and then he moved on. But Ollie Watkins is still very much loved by Brentford fans. When he plays for England, Brentford fans switch on. They want to see him score. They very much love him. And just talk to me just briefly about those 2 players.
Ezri Konsa has been amazing. Hasn't put a foot wrong. He's been solid. He's been consistent. And you can see that he's actually growing as every season gets on. He's getting better. He's played right back a few times as well this season, and he's done really, really well in that position. So he's been brilliant. Obviously, we haven't got Tyrone Mings. He's been out all season. So Konsa's actually stepped up really well, and he deserved his England call-up for me. I wish he had played as for England at the time when he got called up as well, but I'm sure there's plenty of time for that. But with Ollie Watkins, you know what? You always know there's a goal in him, and that's the thing. You always believe if Ollie Watkins is in your team, you're gonna get some sort of goals from him. Whether it's going to be from the corner, a header, a shot from outside the box, there's always a possibility that there's going to be a goal coming from him. So that's what you believe with Ollie Watkins, and that's what he puts into the team. And plus, he works very hard for the team. He's a guy that doesn't stop running down them channels. Really good. Dean Smith talked very highly of him when he brought him here as well. So a player that we'd love to have at our club.
Yeah, okay, and he's great. And talk about Dean Smith as well. Dean Smith just got a new job at Charlotte FC, which is my MLS club that I follow, and I was over there in the summer to see them as well. So, and I'm probably seeing Dean in a few months' time actually, because I'll probably pop over to Charlotte at some stage to go and check out how he's doing. But that's a separate issue as well. There's a little Villa, Brentford, Charlotte link going on there as well. But anyway, just talking about coming back to this game here as well. I was coming back to you just quickly. Do you think Villa will get Champions League this season? It's a bit of a cheeky question.
You know what I want to say to you? Football's a funny game, and anything can happen. If Leicester will manage to do it, and there's no disrespect to Leicester, there's every chance Villa could do that as well. And Newcastle did last season. They managed to get Champions League. The way we're playing, as a Villa fan, I actually think yes. At the moment, we're playing really, really well. If we can keep up with the performances and keep consistent, anything can happen.
Yeah, anything can happen. And last season, I'm just coming to the Brentford game as well. You smashed us at your ground. I mean, it was one of those performances where we literally just had to put our hand up and go, okay, that's fair enough. We've just taken an absolute tonking as well from Aston Villa at your place as well, but then, in the second half of the season, things were different, down at our place as well. You probably don't find it as easy to come to New Griffin Park as you do before. I'm just wondering, just your thoughts in general about Brentford.
You know what? Going to Brentford is always a difficult game because you never know what to expect from Brentford, and that's the thing. You've got some really real good players there that can make something out of nothing, and that's the fear when you don't know what to expect. When you're playing like I don't know, for example, Man City, you know what you can expect from the likes of Grealish, the likes of Haaland. But when you're playing Brentford, and when they do play well, it's difficult for us to break you down. And these are the games that we kind of need to grind out results as well.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we get a result, because that's the only way we can keep up top of that league.
Yeah, and I mean, talking about players as well, because obviously you obviously know, like I said, we've pretty much got almost like a first team of players out, from Rico Henry, to we've got basically all sorts of, Collins is out, Brian Mbeumo is out. We've obviously got Ivan Toney, who is out, suspended. We've almost got 11 first team players out, so it's hard to pick up a Brentford team now, because we were bringing in our kind of I hate to say second string, but we're bringing another set of players in to replace those players. You talk about fears of Brentford. Do you think that this might play into our hands, because you'll have less intelligence on these players than you would do of the players who are more higher profile.
And that's the thing, if you don't know, you don't know, right? And it's the unknown sometimes that brings the fear out in football. And that's the thing. So, you mentioned Brian and Mbombo, like he's a player. If he was I think he's out for Sunday's game, isn't he? But
he's out for
if
3
he was
months.
playing, I think he's out for 3 months. Wow. I mean, if he was playing, I think we'd fear him. He's a quality player, gets down the line very well, quick, and when he gets the ball into the box, you don't actually know which way he's going to go and which way he's going to drop that shoulder. So it's a quality player. But the other player that I really like at your club is Jensen. I think he's a tidy player.
He's out as well. He's out as well.
Oh, is he out as well?
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Wow.
They're all out, mate. I'm telling you.
So I mean, like, this is the I mean, when you've got this sort of situation and the people that are coming in, it's really their chance to make a statement. And if they can make a statement, then they'll want it more. Hopefully, but hopefully Villa can stop that from happening and get the job done.
Yeah, okay. So listen, how's the Brentford game going to pan out? Just tell me how it's going to pan out. You've got your players coming down. Who's going to cause problems and who for us is going to cause problems against you?
To be honest, I was going to say Jensen would have caused problems for us, but I didn't realise he was also injured. Obviously knew that the striker that was injured, Brian, but I didn't realise that Jensen was injured. But for us, in terms of causing problems for you, I think Moussa Diaby, he's a very good player, very quick, and he's due a goal again. He didn't start in a couple of games. He started on the Europe game yesterday, but he's a very good player, a player that loves a goal. So I think he'll be a threat. And also John McGinn. John McGinn's been fantastic for us. People still forget that we bought him for only like 2.5 million. And he's been fantastic, and he's really, really enjoying his football. So he's another person that can really get a goal, and he's got that in the last couple of games. So that's really me. And obviously, you guys had, but obviously you haven't got Ivan Toney, which is a plus for us as well, because playing against him it would have been difficult, because we know that he can score goals. So yeah, I mean, look, I'm looking forward to the game. It's going to be a great game. And I think we'll get like a 2-1 win, possibly a 3-1 win. But I'm always going to say a Villa win, right?
There you go. So score predictions come out a little bit early there as well, which is all good. Nilish predicting 3. Is it 2-1 or 3-1?
I think it could be 2-1 to be honest.
2-1. Okay, he's going for a tight 2-1 win to the Villa, which is all good. So listen, Nilish, it's been great chatting to you, and listen, we'll sure catch up for you after the game.
Take care.
So there you go, Nilesh, Villains together. Very, very confident, happy, totally delighted with what's going down in Villa, and I'm not surprised really. Just quickly, Laney, before that, you'd actually talked about the weaknesses of Aston Villa. I think I'm just going to point them out. According to WhoScored.com, the weaknesses, they're weak against defending against through ball attacks, and also very weak in the air. Okay. However, their strengths, counter-attacking, they're very strong, and also they're strong at finishing scoring chances, attacking down the wings, creating long shot opportunities, creating chances using through balls, creating chances through individual skill, creating scoring chances, defending set pieces, and protecting the lead. They attack through the middle play, the offside trap. They've got pretty much the same first 11 they play with, and opponents play aggressively against them. So we've got our work cut out against us, haven't we?
Yes, we have. There are a couple of players that are going to be missing. Lucas Digne got suspended, and I think either Douglas Luiz or Diego Carlos, I think they're going to be missing as well. They both got a 5th booking, so they are going to miss a couple of their players. Leon Bailey, he's looking a great player at the moment. Babuka Kamara, he's having a good season. We know about Yuri Tielemans from Leicester. We know all about Ollie Watkins. And then Emiliano Martinez, he's World Cup winner with Argentina. They've got players that can come off the bench that just a great Jacob Ramsey. You got Moussa Diaby. They all look through that team, and they've got there's threats there. Decore, Dendonka, sorry. They've got threats. They've bought well, which is really unlike Aston Villa. They seem to have turned a corner. They're actually building a proper strong Premiership outfit there. They ain't going down this season, mate. That's for sure.
No. So they're not as well. So and just talking about Villa then, and just talking about that game itself, because obviously we're both a little bit nervous. Give us a score prediction, Laney.
I'll take a point all day long right now. I think they're going to probably beat us 3-1.
Oh, I'm going to go for 1-1 to the mighty V's, actually. And I'm going to give him a shout with the Minnesota Near. I want to give a shout to Dean Smith as well, who's taken over as manager of Charlotte FC. It was the team that I obviously support over in the MLS. And I was there in the summer, and I actually spoke to their last manager, actually, not knowing that he was going to get sacked about a month later, so I had a good chat with him and all the characters down there. But Dean Smith is well and truly in there now, and it's really interesting talking to the Charlotte people and the American people, because they don't know too much about Dean Smith, but all they know is that they don't know much about his Brentford history. They know about the fact he took Villa up and then he got sort of a couple of teams relegated, and I don't think that's fair, because as you know as well, Dean Smith as well, we love Dean Smith. We think he's a great bloke. We think he's a really good manager, and he did some really good things for Brentford, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I don't. I'm not going to say anything bad against him, because I don't think there is much. Whether he was ever going to be the manager to take us up, I'm not quite sure. But that timing didn't really happen for him, because that brilliant transfer window that Thomas Frank benefited from, it could have been Dino, and but he'd gone to Aston Villa by that stage, and he took them up through the playoffs. So, I'm not saying he wasn't capable of taking the team up, because he's on his CV. He did that. He was a really lovely guy. He was a good man, really good coach. No one says a bad word about him, whether they're ex-players or whether they're people that have met him. He held that baton at Brentford very well, and he moved us on to a situation where, with the transfer window that brought in so many of those great players, that we became Premiership ready. So I'll always thank him for what he did at Brentford, and I wish him well for the future, mate.
100%. And I spoke to Dean Smith after he left Brentford. I went to the playoff semi-final against West Brom as well, and I saw him against that West Brom game, which they won obviously over 2 legs as well. I went to both the games, and I spoke to him, and he just said to me, "Look, Bill, look at this. Look what I've got here. I've got Grealish, I've got these players. It's just a different level." He goes, "I love Brentford, but this is the different level here. What I've got." And so, and then I went to the playoff final as well. I was doing some stuff for Sky. I was doing a lot of fan stuff, a lot of fan video stuff. So I literally had an all access pass. So I literally was everywhere, in the press room, on the pitch. And I spoke to him and also Kelly as well. And he was just so proud, because he'd taken his team up, from the Championship to the Premier League, and I just sort of chatted to him again. So, and I felt really pleased for him. So, at Charlotte, there was between Dean Smith and Frank Lampard, and I was praying it wasn't going to be Frank, and in the end, Dean got the gig. So I was thinking, that's great, because when I go there next year, we'll have a good little beer with Dean, and we'll have a little bit of a chin wag. But anyway.
And I will say as well, but, I know a lot of Villa, I produce a lot of Aston Villa books, and the Villa diehards, they're not particularly comfortable with the way it ended for Dino at Villa Park. I mean, I know they're kicking on under Emery now, but they feel that he was literally was Villa till he died. He was a boyhood fan. His dad was a massive Aston Villa fan. It's part of his family, part of his DNA, and he didn't do a huge amount wrong there, so
his name wasn't big enough.
No, exactly that. But wish him well.
Wish him well, definitely. But anyway, this is the Besotted Pride of West London podcast. Don't forget to buy us a beer, besotted.com patreon.com/beer. Don't forget to check out that post-match podcast, prideofwest.london. Also subscribe on all good podcast channels and write us a review. And thank you everybody for listening to us, supporting us, buying us a beer and doing whatever. We put the Sheffield United game behind us, but if they do stay up, definitely go there next season. It's a wicked away day. But we'll look forward to Villa coming down on Sunday. We've got our Sutton Coldfield Villa posse coming. They come every year. They're going to have the glow. They get down there really early. They go to the pub and they drink there, and they're just really friendly. So if you're down the pub, go and check them out. The Villa boys from Sutton Coldfield, Hatchet and crew. They're just actually making their...
Last time we saw them was in Washington.
We did actually. We saw in our bar in Washington.
We were feeling very Christmassy that night, weren't we?
That's right, in the middle of summer. Yeah, they were there. They were having a few beers for Santa Claus. They're Hatchet and crew in our bar in Washington about 3:00 in the morning, which is all good. But like I said to you, they're making their way back from Bosnia right now, as you do. But like I said to you, this is the prideofwest.london podcast, so don't forget to we'll see you on Sunday. We'll see you for some beers, but hopefully we'll get some food.
Buy us a beer, because we're running out.
As we say,
go on, you bees.
Come on, you bees, let's beat them villains.